So, look, I see my staff and my friends in the gallery all looking a bit sad, and my colleagues a bit downcast. And I can see my wife. She's wiping away a few tears, but don't rush over with the tissues, because she doesn't need consoling. They're tears of joy. Because she hates politics, and other than John Howard, she dislikes most politicians. And I only make the cut because she likes my cooking. And so while she's been singing Queen's, that song, I Want to Break Free, for the last few years, I feel like breaking out into Sinatra's My Way. Though I haven't been here a lifetime, it just feels that way. It's a tough gig, and certainly a privilege to be elected in this place, but nonetheless a tough gig, and so I face the final curtain. But unlike Frank, I didn't do it all my way, because what stands out for me more than anything else is that it's been a team effort. And I've been very fortunate to be part of a premiership winning team, the team that's delivered a once-in-generation investment into regional New South Wales, and more specifically into my electorate. And as much as we like to spruik in this place of our achievements as local members, it's the team that should be credited with the success. It was the team that was responsible for the Pacific Highway upgrade, the team that was responsible for the new Grafton Bridge, the multi-million-dollar upgrade to the casino SAR yards, and the multitude of other investments into our electorate. It's the team that's delivered health facilities and ambulance stations, upgrades to roads, schools and sporting facilities. It's a team that's delivered so much, quite frankly, I don't know where to start. What I can say, though, is that it's the team that's put regional New South Wales first for a change, the team that's changed the face of regional New South Wales, and it's a fabulous team, a team that I've been privileged to be a part of, and like any premiership team, there is no one person that's better than the team. It's a team with a great coach, and I don't know if he's here today, Andrew Fraser. Andrew is the epitome of what a local member should be, and he helped, guided and mentored me through some really difficult times. I'm truly proud to call him a friend, and he was inspirational in my retirement, because when I look at him, he's been here so long, I didn't want to end up like him, old, cranky and senile. Sorry, Andrew. Look, you don't often make friends in this place, but he's a lifelong friend. So over the past 11 years I've been here, the team has had some terrific captains, from Andrew Stoner to Tooley. And Tooley is carrying on the wonderful legacy that John Barilaro established for regional New South Wales. Barra put the regions first and fought tooth and nail so that we'd get our fair share. He was a real champion of regional New South Wales. Unfortunately, the media and critics have a pseudonym for fair share. They call it pork barrelling. Look, if it wasn't for the pork barrel, we in regional New South Wales would get zilch, nada, nothing, not a thing. And we didn't get anything for decades. But thanks to Barra and Tooley, regional New South Wales has a voice. Whilst I did say that no player was better than the team, every team has star players, and we too have star players on our front bench. And surprise, surprise, some of them are actually even women. Bronnie Taylor, Sarah Mitchell and Steph Cook have performed incredibly well during some of the most challenging times the state has experienced. They are a wonderful example of the smart, dedicated and hard-working women we have in the regions, and I'm sure we'll see more and more of them representing our party in the future. Like every team, we've got a highly trained and capable support group led by their State Director, Joe Lundy. Joe and the support group provided us with the inspiration and administrative tools we needed to be a premiership winning team. That support group extends to my electorate staff. The support I've received from them is immeasurable. They carry the load and protect us and encourage us to be the best that we can be for the people that we serve. They are at the coalface every day and are our conduit to our community. They make us look good even when we're ordinary. And like every premiership winning team, we have a very loyal bunch of supporters who work for us, cheer for us and believe in us. A premiership winning team repays this loyalty not just by winning, but by playing the game for them, playing your heart out for the core values that your supporters believe in. And for me, winning does not mean winning an election for bragging rights. It means winning so we can deliver those essential services and facilities that every citizen in this state deserves, no matter where they live. Thanks, Jeff.
Why'd you put it up?
For me, being a Member of Parliament has never been about me, but about being part of a team that can best deliver for the people I represent. And all they want is a fair share. In politics, being part of a winning team can be painful. The leadership group can often have a different vision to the individual, and your team loyalty is questioned. But you must always show your loyalty to those who put their faith in you. Like when the government closed the Grafton Jail in the first year I was elected. What's going on here, I'm thinking? I'm supposed to be on the same team as the government, but here they are hanging me out to dry. It was tough on the picket line outside the Grafton Jail, standing alongside members of the Prison Union, Officers Union, and just ordinary people worried about their future. But it wasn't as tough as losing your job and taking your family away, seeing despondency creep into your community. That's the reality of governments making tough decisions. Apart from learning a few slogans on the picket line, I learnt very quickly the drastic impact decisions in Macquarie Street can have on a community 600 kilometres away. And I learned very quickly which side I was on, and that was, is, and always will be with the people who put their faith in me to represent them. And I can say my faith in the government was restored not long after this when they collaborated with the private sector to build Australia's largest jail in the Clarence Valley, creating 700 jobs. Country life is very different to city life. It's simple and honest, and that's what I love about it. City people love country life as well, but their love is like a country and western song. I love you, you're perfect, now change. That certainly seemed to be the message when the government decided to ban greyhound racing in New South Wales. Never mind that it's not the sport of kings, but the sport of the working class. Never mind that it's country people love their dogs, they love to socialise, they love to have a punt. Never mind that it went against the very fabric of country life. And so I found myself questioning whether I was in the right team again. I didn't get it. What are they thinking? It was painfully obvious to me that this was just out of whack with what ordinary country people believed. I met with many greyhound owners. I saw how much they loved their dogs and the sport that brought them together, and I couldn't let them down. I had no choice if I was to be true to them. I had to cross the floor. And crossing the floor did not sit easy with me. It was like falling out with your family. But I knew deep down it was the right thing to do. And it did prove to be the right decision because the government gave the greyhound industry a reprieve, and as a consequence the industry is stronger than ever with the highest animal welfare standards in the world. The lesson that never seems to be learnt is pretty much what I said before. Life in the country is different to city life. Don't presume to know what's good for us. Don't try to force change on us. Don't try to make us into you. We saw exactly that with the koala SEP, a flawed policy based on a false premise, the false premise being that all rural landholders have complete disregard for koalas, and a policy with defective maps showing core koala habitat over the main roundabout in the centre of the Grafton and in the pits at Mount Panorama. How could we support such, and I'll use the French word for it, crap? The sort of top-down policy making infuriates most country people because it's so fundamentally wrong. Most people on the land love nature and our native wildlife. That's why we find koalas in the country. And I'm so very proud that our whole team objected to this, and I'll use the French word again, crappy policy. As difficult as it was for Barra and our ministers, it was the right decision. It was a clear demonstration of our support for our core constituency, the people who put their faith in us. The people that provide the food, the fibre, the construction materials and most of the other resources that city people need to survive because they've gobbled them all up with growth. And now they're telling us we're doing it all wrong. So I'm puzzled. Who's doing it wrong? Over the past 11 years, no matter how often I walk through Hyde Park, the Domain, Botanical Gardens, or how hard I look, I've never seen a koala. I'm flat out trying to find a eucalypt, for that matter. And so there we have it. Yes, there are significant differences between the city and the country, and that's why the role of the Nationals is so important to the state coalition government. because we are the voice of the regions. The regions rely on us to make sure that they get their fair share, and we've done that because we have a seat at the table. Our communities on the North Coast have been devastated by floods, and it's incumbent on government to do everything possible to help people and communities recover. This has got to be a priority of government, and I will do everything possible to help them. We don't always see eye to eye with our Liberal colleagues, but we do today because they're all here. Thank you for coming. But our coalition has strengthened over time, and I can say that my admiration for the Premier has strengthened each time I've seen him visit our flooded communities on the North Coast. Dom has been visibly moved by individual stories and shown compassion and commitment to assisting flood victims rebuild their lives. And that's the mark of a true leader. And so as the countdown to the March 25 election draws near, I feel the Liberal Nationals coalition are in a very strong position to win a fourth term. Sorry to the Labor opposition. I know that's exactly the result that country people want, and I'll certainly be supporting the Clarence candidate, Richie Williamson, who's in the gallery today. Thank you for coming down, Richie. Yeah. Richie is a terrific candidate and a great friend, and I'm very confident he will be the next member for Clarence. As for Chris Minns and the opposition, your problem is that your perspective of politics is taken from Marx. Not Karl, but Groucho. Politics is the art of looking for problems, finding them everywhere, diagnosing them incorrectly and applying the wrong remedies. And so that's why they remind me of the Marx Brothers. I see Janelle there. You remind me of one of those, the best Marx Brothers that I like the most. That's Harpo, Janelle. So anyone who's seen The Big Store would know what I'm talking about. It's organised chaos, but they've certainly given me a laugh, and I'll be looking for a few more laughs next year. And so, unlike the Greens, who have actually scared the crap out of me, because they always come here with frightening stories of what's going to happen to the earth. It reminds me of one of those disaster movies, where there's an apocalyptic meteor heading to Earth, and they're all shepherding us on foot to Area 51. That's that area, the Nevada desert, that's that safe haven. And when we get there, all the lights are on, but the lights are kept on by a nuclear reactor. Just don't tell them that, but God bless them for saving the world. And I see the independents here, and I love the independents because they remind me of happy days. Seriously, they do. Greg Piper is definitely the cool Fonzie. Alex is Richie Cunningham. He's sort of eager beaver, happy, and always trying to help someone. And of course, Joe is sort of the sensible owl, in charge of the drive-in. And they solve incredible problems like, should Chachi take Joni to the junior prom? No, I'm just kidding. Look, I love these guys. They really are. They really make my time here very special. And I'll never forget the shooters, because they're not here, are they? They remind me. Roy's here, yes. Roy's here. So they actually remind me of an old posse in the West, when they come riding into town, they're shooting at everything, they're shooting at bad guys, they're shooting at good guys, they're shooting at themselves. And I love a good Western, which is probably why I'm wearing the bolo tie today. So. And to my Nationals colleagues, it's been an incredible experience to be part of a family that share the same basic ideals as I do. No matter whether you're a freshie or a salty, it was never about politics, but just about getting our fair share for our communities. And together, we've achieved an incredible transformation in regional New South Wales, something that we'll never see again, and only made possible because we were a premiership-winning team. And like every family, we've had our highs and lows, we've laughed and we've cried, we've been angry and frustrated, but we've always stayed true to our values, and values that we share with our communities. I'll treasure those memories forever. To my sidekick, Jeff, thanks for making me feel like a school kid again and enjoying this place, which we know can be brutal at times. Even after I've gone, don't be surprised to find me sitting on your balcony, smoking a cigar, barbecue sizzling, smell of onions wafting through the building. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate, and you'll be pleased to know that your Welsh mates' urine and manure are in the gallery. Give them a wave. And to all the ministerial staff we know who keep the wheels of government turning, thank you for all your help. To all the parliamentary staff, attendants, constables, catering staff, cleaners, ground staff, thank you for making life easy for us when Parliament sits. And to all the scribes, media critics, social media hacks who started off all altruistic and ended up as scarred cynics, there is a road to redemption and I forgive you. To the Nationals in my SEC who pre-selected me back in 2011, thank you for the faith you showed in me and for giving me the privilege to represent you in this place. I can only hope that I served you well and met your expectations. Your values and my values are the values that are shared by the people, regional people of New South Wales. To the people of Clarence, it's been an honour and a privilege to serve you in this place, the oldest parliament in the country. I've always put you first, and you're the last thing on my mind when I go to bed. I will always be indebted to you, and I hope I didn't let you down. To my staff who have been with me the whole journey, I can't thank you enough for keeping me off the front pages of the paper. Debbie Newton, who's here, an electorate staffer of over 34 years, her experience, work ethic and connection with our community has been invaluable to me. She knows the ins and outs of politics after 34 years, of course she would. She has connections with ministerial staff and she knows all the movers and shakers that make the wheels turn. She's someone that no electorate can do without. Thank you. Janet Gould, like Debbie, is also here today, has a lifetime experience in her role. She handles the phones, the prickly constituents, manages the office finances and gives me sage advice when it's most needed. And most importantly, she's kept the ATO at bay. Thank you, Janet. So you need everyone needs someone like that in their office. And Greg Bailey, who's not here today, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about Greg is he's one of the most decent and caring people I know. And anyone who has contacted my office loves dealing with Greg. He's a terrific bloke and every office needs someone like Greg. Murray Lees has been part of my political journey since 2007. He's worked on my campaigns, he's done media for me, he's given me advice and he's been a true friend the whole time. Thanks, Muzz, it's been an absolute pleasure. To my good friends Margaret and Graham Dobbin, who are travelled down from Maclean and in the gallery today, thank you for your friendship and support for decades. You've been there for both Vicky and me through good times and bad times. And I can't thank you enough, you're very dear friends. And I know that Vicky's cousin, Peter Brown and Carolyn Brown are here today, and their son, James, I don't know if he's in the gallery, but he works for the President. Yes, I can see him. He's a terrific young bloke, and he would be an asset to any minister or member. If you're looking for another job, James, I've just given you a plug. And finally, I must recognise my family. My sons, Leon and Jared, have lived most of their time away that I've been in this place. And like most young people, they have their own views on politics, but they've always been there for me. And deep down, they share the same values as Vicky and me. And I look forward to spending more time with them and my granddaughter, Olivia, when I leave this place. As for Vicky, it's been a roller coaster ride. Spouses don't sign up for the job when you get elected and often end up with the rough end of the pineapple. But as rough as it's been, she stuck with me through the good times and the bad. We've laughed, we've cried, we've argued, but we've always loved each other, not just over the past 11 years, but for the past 41 years we've been married, which is quite a long time. I think it might be longer than the opposition leader has been alive, actually. And the Premier. Well, 41 for me, 41 for her, that's probably longer than both of them. And so I'm looking forward to spending quality time with you, that quality time that I love so much, cleaning the shower, hanging out the washing, ironing, of course, doing the cooking, and all those other things on the list, and as Maxwell Smart would say, and loving it. And I do love you. Yes, I do. And just so, whilst I've made light of some of my comments to my colleagues in this place, can I just say, in the words of that famous Australian pugilist, I love yous all. And finally, in the words of that famous Californian governor, hasta la vista, baby.